yourself to walk across a limestone landscape. Start, check, step, check, step, slope, slip, stop, 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 stop. Start, step, 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 slope, check, stop. Start, check, step, check, step, slip, slip, stop. Start, step, check, step, slope, step, check, step, 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 stop. Start, step, check, step, 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 step. There you go. Thank you. You look bemused. I can't see your faces, but you look bemused. There's an aura of bemusement. That's one of my poems about walking. I sent some work off to a publisher a while ago, and he went, I really like this, but I want to know what happens next. And I thought, well, nothing happens next, does it? I don't know. And then I thought, oh my God, it's the thing about walking that I've probably said this before, but then I realised that I always write about walking. That's all I ever write about, walking. Although, as Annie pointed out, I actually wrote about the Teletubbies once, which I've forgotten. I bought the Teletubbies, took me a long time to find it. But mostly I write about the walking, and looking at the grounds and stuff like that. So I've written a lot about walking, and the reason I'm interested in the ground is because I fall over quite a lot, because I had polio as a child, so walking has always been a hugely difficult and complex thing. In fact, I watch every step I ever make on the road and on the pavement. Every step has a pattern to it. Everywhere I go, I map my way around the place, and I have certain rules for my mapping. I'm not OCD or anything like that, but it's quite important to me, all the same. I started writing about the whole experience of having polio. It seems like really self-indulgent to write about yourself, but then hell, we just write about ourselves anyway, don't we, really? You wrote about Toronto. You in Toronto. And I started thinking about it. It was quite interesting because it's like writing about somebody else, because I was only 4, but I can remember, you remember things in your own way, don't you? But one of the things that, that I had right from the start, actually, which I thought everybody with polio had, but apparently not, is called an autonomic neuropathy, and that means that I've got no circulation and my nerves don't work properly on one side of my body. So it's just bloody cold. So, like, from my hip down, my right leg it's so cold. It's horrible. I can't bear to touch it myself sometimes. So this poem is number 8 in this series at the moment, and it's called She Comes Up With a Way to Cope with the Cold of It. Winter's stalag grip, and the bad leg is cadaver, ungraved, a morgue thing. It drags, polar flayed and gnawed to bone, a sick snag joined to her at the hip. In winter she takes it, old peg hag, old witherer, to the woods, unhooks it, doll-like femur from pelvis, lays it on moss, watches over it, moonstruck and unafraid. Each winter she makes the same like wake, loving the poor gone thing. Are you depressed? Thank you. And this was the one that I sent, that the guy said, well, I wanted to know what happened next. And it's a pantoum. I'm very fond of a pantoum. I really am. I like anything. See, I'm obsessed with patterns and logic, and I make patterns out of everything. I count everything all the time. No, I won't tell you. Just think I'm mad. But pantoum's one thing, because it's repetitive and it's a pattern, it appeals to me. So villanelles and all that sort of stuff, I love it. So this is a pantoum, and it's called She Stands Still at the Edge of the Sea. She stands still at the edge of the sea, a woman who doesn't always know what to do. She imagines walking up the beach away from the grey waves that come and go. She doesn't always know what to do, though she feels sand shift underfoot and sees the grey waves come and go, asks why. Do I stop? When will I start? She feels sand and underfoot shift, though she tries to recall instructions on balance, stepping, how to walk, when to ask more. The sand slip quickens. She tries, she calls, she recalls. Oh, how she says, so cold. Help, please, deep quicksand, slip water, I am cold. Help me walk, so cold, please help me walk. Imagining this long beach, I am water, I am cold, I am cold, I am still a woman, still at the edge of the sea. About the Teletubbies, because I mentioned the Teletubbies and I've forgotten all about the Teletubbies. I did write about the Teletubbies. This is, I don't know whether the Teletubbies are still on the telly. Are they on?
No.
Are they not? What a shame. I like the Does anyone remember the Teletubbies?
Yay.
Yeah, of course you do. Well, when I was looking for the Teletubbies poem, I couldn't find it. And I thought, oh, it's called something about a name. And that was actually a poem about a scrotum, it turned out. Wasn't the Teletubbies at all. Nothing to do with the Teletubbies. And then I remembered, actually, after much swearing and cursing at my external hard drive, I thought, oh yeah, I tried to write it in Spanish, you see. I thought it was a good idea. I don't speak Spanish, but it seemed like a good idea at the time. So it started off as called Lost Teletubbies, because that was as far as I got with the Spanish. And what happened was, there was a news item on the radio, and it was about a consignment of Teletubbies who'd been impounded by Spanish port officials, which is why I thought I'd write it in Spanish, you see, it seemed appropriate. And after careful examination, very careful examination, it showed these Teletubbies to be fakes. And I thought, it's that thing about fakes, why is something worth a lot of money when everyone thinks it's something? And when everyone thinks it's something else, it's not worth anything. How can that happen? If it's the same violin, I don't know, I don't understand that. So it's about the Teletubbies. I did try and put some Spanish in the end, but it came down to food in the end. And the other reason that reminded me about this today was when I lost my car. And while I was looking for my car, someone was talking about, is it Chelsea Football Club? Jose Mourinho. Is he the manager of Chelsea now? Yeah. Anyway, is he? Yeah. There you go. You see, they were talking about Chelsea, and he said Jose Mourinho, and that reminded me, oh yeah, the Teletubbies, because Jose Mourinho was the only Spanish thing I could think of that wasn't food. So he comes in for no particular reason. Just sounded quite Spanish, you see. Eh-oh, we said, when we landed in Spain. Está mal, said the Spanish officials. They look us up and down, they shout and they frown. It fills us with anguish because we don't speak the language. Why are they making a fuss? What's the matter with us? Ah, Jose Mourinho. Well, your stuffing's too loose and your aerial's a goose, though your colours are bright. Under infrared light, Dipsy's lime green has a faint bluish sheen, and your handbag, Tinky Winky's just a little too pinky. We've given this much thought since you landed in port. You're not real, you're just clever imposters. If we let you lot through in a week, maybe two, you'll have spread from Barcelona to the Costas. Oh, paella. So we'll all be destroyed when we could bring such joy to the kids of Madrid. We are lost, and the babes of Seville will not feel the thrill of holding us tight through the warm Spanish night for a quarter the full retail cost. They say they're protecting those kids unsuspecting, but they're pushing their profits much higher. They berate and abuse us, make big bags of euros by throwing us all on the fire. Ah, cherries. But do kids really care if the shade of our hair is less than exact and our stomachs are packed with inferior wadding? Stop prodding! Okay, it's true what they say. We were made in Albania, but does it really matter all that much where we come from? Eh-oh is eh-oh in any language. Look at us. Do we not look like Teletubbies? Walk like Teletubbies? Talk like Teletubbies? Are we not therefore Teletubbies? Who are they to say we're not real? Reality, like beauty, might be just the way you feel. Thank you.